Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. It's me, Paul Neal, as always, and I'm here to give you the top 5 players I think could really benefit from this break with the coronavirus. So, at number 5, I've got James McCarthy at Crystal Palace. James McCarthy, this season he has 24 appearances and 12 of them are as a sub. 0 goals. Obviously, he's a defensive midfielder, so not really looking for goals in that regard, really, with him. But McCarthy was starting to enjoy playing under Hodgson at the start of the season, but he was kind of in and out and rarely completing 90 minutes. He did go on, however, after January and start producing really good performances for Crystal Palace, and it was likely that he was going to get back into mixed last squad, although it wasn't picked. But I think he was definitely going to be highly considered in that position. It was between himself, Glenn Whelan and Josh Cullen, I suppose. And we know Mick is quite loyal to them. But it would have been interesting to find out whether his name was even in the provisional list. Either way, now it's something for Stephen Kenny to kind of keep an eye on now. And it'd be interesting to see the relationship between Stephen Kenny and James McCarthy in that regard. But the coronavirus, it might just be the rest that James McCarthy needed. I know he got a big rest at Everton when he was trying to come through there after making the leg break and Marco Silva wouldn't play him. And he waited nearly a year to leave. But I think at the start of the season, it kind of showed that his fitness was way off what it needed to be, especially at Premier League level, such an elite level that you have to be that good of an athlete. Where I think McCarthy can be. But I think the break might have came at a good time for him. And now he can kind of come back in and be on the same level of fitness as all the rest of his teammates. And look at maybe completing 90 minutes consistently again. Because I think that will only be positive for Crystal Palace and positive for the Republic of Ireland. So that's why he's at number 5 for me, because this is a Premier League list. Then at number 4, it's Shane Long at Southampton. He's only have to sign a new 2-year contract extension today with Southampton. And Ralph Hasenhüttl absolutely loves him, talks about him so highly, and obviously has rewarded him with a contract. You can see by the way he's came back into the team. I mean, so far this season he has 19 appearances and 6 of them were as a sub. He's got 2 goals. Probably could be doing better in the goals department, but I mean, you look at the effect he's had since he's came in and started playing regularly with Danny Ings, or even linking up with Michael Obafemi, his Irish teammate. So I mean, with Shane Long, and it goes to show that the manager has rewarded him with that contract, how important he could be. And the fact that there's 5 subs now, I think you'll see a lot more of Shane Long. And hopefully he starts adding goals to his games, because I think, again, like James McCarthy, it would have been interesting to see whether Shane Long was going to be in that squad list. I'd say he was a shoo-in to be put in for the playoffs, if I'm being honest. But it will be interesting to see how Shane Long gets on now over the next couple of weeks, with obviously football coming back on the 17th, and if he can stay out of harm's way and stay out of injuries way, what way it'll transpire for him in terms of goals, because we all know he can be important and he can be a handful. I think that shows why he's been given a contract. The Premier League is such a cutthroat business that, if you're not generally scoring goals, you're usually shipped out or you're sent to the Championship. But Shane Long, to be fair, has fought his way back right to where he should be, and that's starting for Southampton. And I think if he is fully fit, I think he's Ireland's best striker, albeit might not be our best goal scorer, but he's definitely our best striker. And for me, I think that the break could actually be very, very positive for him, and the fact now that we've got football in a couple of weeks, and I think that little break could have done the world of good, because I know he was. The problem with Shane Long has been in the past is that they've rushed him back, because he's obviously been important to the team. They've rushed him back and he's gotten injured. So this is why himself and James McCarthy could go down really, really well in that regard, because of previous injuries that the rest that they never really seem to get could be positive. Now, it might prove that it might not be, but we're just hoping here. At number 3, Adam Idah, I'm going to go with. At number 3, hasn't really been getting a look in at Premier League level. He had made his debut at Old Trafford. I think it was either after or before he scored the hat-trick against Preston in the FA Cup. But he hasn't scored any goals in the Premier League. He's had 3 appearances and 2 of them off the bench. Obviously, I just mentioned he started at Old Trafford because they were down on strikers. I think if a run off the bench wouldn't be too harmful for Norwich, because, at this point, they're as good as gone down. But it's more likely that next season he'll be kind of pushing for a first team spot on a regular basis, and I think that could be proven vital if he gets in now and starts doing well for the rest of the run in. It could prove influential for him next season. The manager might be looking at next season and planning for next season to get themselves back up to the Premier League, because it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to go down at this rate. I think most people would admit that, maybe other than Norwich fans, but I did think that Norwich can rebuild quite successfully, and you've got players like him there that can go on, and I think next season he could take the Championship by storm, and if he does start the Championship by storm early doors, it could be really good for us and the Nations League if Adam Idah's in there and he's playing regularly for Norwich's first team, and Stephen Kenny knows him well and knows what makes him tick, so that could be one to really, really watch, in my opinion anyway. And then number 2, Aaron Connolly at Brighton and Hove Albion. This season he has 17 appearances, 8 of them are sub, and obviously 2 goals, which the 2 goals came in the one game against Spurs. Hasn't really hit the heights that I know he would have liked, but definitely the talent is there, the hunger is there, the goals are definitely there if he's given the opportunity. I think the manager was a bit reluctant to play him earlier on in the season because they were pretty much, and still pretty much are, in a relegation battle. But I think the fact that now that we've 5 substitutions, I think someone like Connolly coming off the bench, he's over his injury now and seems to be back training with the first team again, so I think it could be really beneficial for him getting himself back into the starting lineup at Brighton and just making supporters aware of who he is again. You know, not that they've forgotten, but it's no harm getting himself in amongst it. I remember a game he came on off the bench against Chelsea and Brighton were losing and he came back and he helped them rescue a draw. Again, might not have scored like Shane Long, but made necessary hassling and put himself about that ultimately led to the equaliser, and they ended up getting a draw against a good Chelsea side, and he was putting it up against the likes of Rudiger and Zuma. So, young, pacey striker, probably more than likely going to come off the bench more so and be behind the likes of Glenn Murray and Mopai and these types. But I do think with the 5 substitutions now that it's a real opportunity for someone like him to grasp it. And again, Stephen Kenny will be watching closely to see how he's doing. I'm 100% sure of that. And then at number 1, Michael Obafemi at Southampton. I think, again, I went back to Shane Long and how much the manager really seems to like him. The manager seems to really, really like Obafemi, and he's got 15 appearances this season. He's got 10 of them were on the bench, and then he's got the 2 goals. And obviously, one of them goals was against Chelsea, so he's not afraid of scoring against the bigger teams as well, which is great to see because we always want our players scoring against the top teams, but we don't see it probably enough as we want, and we probably haven't seen it enough since the likes of Robbie Keane. So we're hoping that someone out of this list, obviously other than James McCarthy, can be the one that scores goals on a regular basis. Whether Shane Long can, I'm not sure, but I think Michael Obafemi, Adam Idah and Aaron Connolly definitely have the potential to really kick on and really start doing things, whether it's at club level or international level. But I do think that Obafemi, again, he has had his injuries in the past and just seems like he's raring to go. Again, thought he could have been called up for Mick's last squad. We never found out what it was going to be. So out of all the younger lads, he's definitely the one playing the most Premier League football and definitely has, those 3 I've just mentioned in the top 3 definitely have exciting futures ahead of them. And there's other players that could still kick on, Afalabi, Troy Parrott and stuff like that. But I just wanted to make this a Premier League list, and I do think that Michael Obafemi at number 1 is a fair shout. Let me know what you guys think regarding who could do well in this coronavirus return of football, and who would you like to see, or make up your own top 5. It could be a Championship top 5 or League 1 top 5 or whatever. The top 5 players who you think could benefit from the break, and obviously coming back now and really kick on. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. You know who I am. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'll catch you in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.